Fight fans, fight fans, fight fans. This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I am live for the evening chat. This may or may not be the last chat of 2022. You know, because things happen. Sure, content will be flying. That always occurs in the morning time or whenever I get up, right? But this could be the last one of the year. So let's make it a memorable in 2022. I'm working out a bit, doing a jump rope, working my arms a little bit, dumbbells, small weights. Troy Peterson, what's up, brother? Good morning, Kurt from down under. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Troy and others, hit that like button as you guys come in. Will I get in another session? It's been a while. I'm gonna tell you guys a story about these jump rope, right? I actually lost them. And the weirdest thing was I could not find a brand like this that fitted me. So, I started doing jumping jacks, just getting it, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same. And the strangest thing is they were here the whole time. What we got? We got comments. It is New Year's Eve here. It's 9 a.m. Counterpunch to you, brother. Congratulations on the official last day of the year to you. Harsha / Mr. Big Jingles. Or Jiggles. How are you, Kurt? What's your pick for Benavidez versus Plant? Man, I think that's going to be a good fight, though, because Plant really surprised me. I know it was a perfect punch, but it was a perfectly timed punch. And one thing I've learned about Caleb Plant has seemed to take boogeymen out of their place. You guys remember, before he got beat, his only defeat, bars, against Canelo Alvarez, what did he do? The hard, awkward, thudding, hard banging, rugged, tough Venezuelan fighter that now fights out of Mexico. His name is Uzcategui. You remember what he did to him? He dropped him 4 times, and Uzcategui was one tough mother sucker, right? So look, you can't really go against Caleb Plant unless you're dealing with an all-time great. And Canelo may be that. And Canelo showed you probably, and I hope not, but he showed you his last dominant performance. The man went to super middleweight, where all the fighters from middleweight migrated to, okay? And up there, he did just do bars. Seriously, man, he went up there. He took on Callum Smith. He took on Billy Joe. He took on Caleb Plant. He took on Rocky Fielding, right? He did the deal up there, man. He unified and got every single belt, okay? And he had to weed through politics to do it. But Caleb Plant was the last of the Mohicans up there, right? But he knew he had something to prove. And I think he has another thing to prove when he takes on, like my man Mike Tyson says, the Mexican monster. Yo, Kurt, have you seen all the sanctioning bodies have agreed to stay out of the way in terms of mandatories for Fury versus Usyk? Big bah. I haven't heard that, but it's seeming that way. You know what? And for a minute, and this is what's going to happen. For a minute, they should at least allow that fight to happen. Because the weirdest thing to me was the lawsuit that Wilder and Fury had. I really don't believe it, though. Honestly, I still don't believe that. I don't believe just call look. I don't believe that because see, you guys see Mauricio, Pacasel, the other two. I don't really know their names. Those guys are not even getting involved. Should I say the IBF and the WBA? Okay. Um, they're not getting involved at all. So I'm like, okay, a lawsuit. And then Bob says some stuff like this would really makes me scratch my head about that situation was Bob was like, if Eddie Hearn would have did it sooner, the arbitration matter went in a certain direction. It would have been overturned. That's what would have happened. And we would have had an undisputed fight, the biggest fight in this century. But Eddie Hearn fucked it up. Listen, I think that was just a stab at Eddie Hearn. But then again, him saying stuff like that, it's easy to say that then since that fight already took place. But it is a good job that they have stepped out of the way. I'm glad they have. I'm glad that they've done what they're supposed to do. But here is the grudge at the end of the tunnel. This is what will happen. Whoever wins, all of those mandatories are going to have to be fulfilled. Okay? Because they're going to come like bees on a hoard of honey, right? They're going to come and they're going to want, the IBF is going to come first, then the WBO, then the WBA, then the WBC. Okay, they're going to come all, probably pretty much all at one time, expecting one guy to fight four different guys that are mandatories. That's what's going to happen. Because those guys that are mandatories have paid their sanctioning fees to that organization to make sure that organization puts pressure on that champion to make that fight happen. Okay, and they're all going to do the same thing. So that may sound good now, but wait until it's over. Wait until it's over. I was 122 kilos and had a truck accident, lost the weight through hard work, gym walking, drinking more water. I'm now 94 kilos, mental health improved. I'm near 50 years old and keep up the jump rope, Kurt. Troy Peterson. Look, Troy. I definitely think that's a testimony, man. And I think a lot of mental health has a lot to do with what we eat, because I think a lot of what we eat is bad for us, especially over here in the USA. I can't speak for other parts, but I can say this: when I do go, I say my second home. When I go back to DR, I go to the Caribbean, or I go somewhere like that, and I eat, I lose weight. If I'm gaining weight, it's because of drinking. I mean, great pilsners. It ain't because I'm eating. It ain't the bad stuff with the preservatives and all that stuff that's banned in certain countries. So it's not that at all. And I feel that you eat that stuff and you take this in, it affects your brain, bro. It has to. It affects the way your mind and body works. Eating shitty food will have you feeling shitty. Feeling shitty will have you thinking shitty. If that makes sense to anybody. Let's hit that like button when we come in. Right? Warren issued contract to Team Usyk, so Usyk never signed any contract already. St. Don. Well, I don't know what Team Usyk could have been talking about, because they already said everything is ready to go. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on over there. We know Fury's he said he's decided, or he's agreed, but he's agreed to fight a lot of people. Like a lot of fighters agreed, but it doesn't mean anything until contracts are signed. So if Frank Warren, obviously what he was talking about last week has been done. Because you do remember, I remember Frank Warren. I haven't heard that interview that you heard or read or whatever, but I've heard him say that it can't be any farther than March 4th. So he's saying we got to get moving. We got to make like a bread truck, haul buns, and get this fight done. Okay, so obviously they've done that in that nick of time. So that's good news. I was watching Blue Blood Sports TV. Charlo had 5 days to show proof of his broken bones in the hands. or they were going to strip him of the belts, apparently. Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't hear that. I mean, I have now. I mean, I don't know why they would do that, and it's sad that you have to do that because, you know, why would you lie about it? I don't think he's scared of Tim Zoo, but I don't know. A lot of pressure is on an undisputed champion, man. Like I'm saying, whoever will be the undisputed champion at heavyweight will have a lot of people to worry about. Dead Gang Boxing, salute to you, brother. Tuesday American time, Charlo has. Do you think Joshua and Wilder will actually fight? They will eventually. You know, and I hope Wilder is in good spirits, and I hope Joshua is in good spirits. So I hope that both guys are mentally, physically, spiritually ready to take on each other. That's the best thing you can hope for. You know? American fuel their food with sugar to get you in the doctors. Absolutely. Charlie Torres, salute Kurt and much success. New Year wishes for your channel. Appreciate you, man. We're going for 100,000 subscribers. We got 75,000 now. I'm appreciative. Honestly, I didn't expect the channel to do 10. I thought at 10 would be my cap because I would be like 10,000 subscribers. Dude, that's big. I've done 7 times that much. So that's thanks to you guys that come in, that view, the ones that are true. Bars. That's for you. Let me get, I'm getting too cold. So I got to do a set. And I'm going to do this set for that 100,000, right? You have had over 66 million views. Yeah, over 60 million. I don't know if it's that high, but yeah, dude. Keep it up, big man. Gang one, appreciate you. Absolutely excellent show, God. Angry Black Alley Cat. Hashtag FBF for life. It's the carbs, pasta. If you eat too much, you need to burn it off. Absolutely. Absolutely. Michael Buffer coming in with those 2 pounds. And does Warren hide his pay-per-view numbers for Fury? I don't know. That's a good question. He shouldn't, but then again, if he does, I can understand why. Right? Because think about it. If his numbers are less than Joshua's, for example, he wouldn't want to show those numbers. Why? Because he can't push the narrative that Tyson Fury is a bigger star than Joshua if he's showing these numbers, and these numbers are clearly less than Anthony Joshua's. Does that make sense to people? Because I think, I mean, I'm not saying he does, because I don't know if he hides them or not. But if he is hiding them, it's because of that reason, definitely. Michael Buffer, BT rarely releases their figures. 66 million, and you're like a Gen guy. Always give me a shout out. Top man, gang one, no problem. Again, man, I don't look at certain channels as above or beneath, because the reality of it is this is one big family, really. You know, this community, you know, is small. Because, you know, the same guys that are on this channel are on like guys like Ring IQ's channel, Show Business channel, you know, Some guys that watch LDBC watches Bruce Vane, or all these different channels. Major Key Boxing, Lady Shan, Boxing Waves, a good one. So this is a small community. So if you're fans of boxing, you're going to come to all these different variations of channels to get a different insight, which is great. Because when you start looking at one channel, okay, you only get one perspective. And when you're getting one perspective and you hear anything outside of that, what you've heard or what you've been listening to, you're going to argue. You're not going to see any other way. It's like going to church. Only this way is the way. Any other way, you're damned. You're Catholic, you're damned. What? Huh? Why? It's for Fury to brag about when he finally retires. Okay. Which that'll be never. I just want to see Fury, if he loses, how he will take it. And I think at that point, I may feel about Tyson Fury, and I want people to listen to me. I may feel the same way about Tyson Fury that I felt about Oscar De La Hoya. I didn't respect Oscar De La Hoya until he lost. Okay? And the fights that he lost, like really lost. And it was weird. It was like he lost to Trinidad on some BS. Okay. I think we can all agree on that. But his real fight, or his real loss, was the Sugar Shane Mosley coming from 135 to 147. And after he lost, he fought his ass off for that fight. They had one hell of a throwdown, drug out fight. It was like one of those fights of the year. 2000, bro, produced so many fights. I love that year. I really love that year. And looking at De La Hoya lose made me respect him more. That's why I realized that it's not about winning all the time. Because even when you win on paper, you've actually lost. And sometimes when you lose, you actually win. And sometimes when you win, you actually tie. So it's Tyson Fury may have that same bearing on me. If Tyson loses, but in a good fight, what's not to like? Bars. Let me hit this super chat. Michael Buffer coming in with a 5-5. The interviewer was pushing Frank to reveal the next number, but Frank won't say. But he keeps banging on about 94,000 tickets, but no pay-per-view. It must be low. It has to be low. So what people do, they normally talk up their big point or their profit point. That's their, that's the thing to brag about. That's the thing to honor or to amplify. But no, it didn't do good at all because people didn't want to watch that shit. People knew what was going to happen, and I like Chisora. I like his attitude. I like how Chisora has pretty much fully reformed his life from like this thug. I'm spitting in your face. I don't like you. So take this chair on this table, let me throw it at you, to let me splash this damn water in your face because you're my opponent or whatever, to, hey man, you want a burger? You want a burger, man? I got some Five Guys burgers. You want a burger? Right? So I respect Derek Chisora, but was that a fight we wanted to see? No. And let me tell you why. This is what messed up Tyson Fury. If Tyson Fury wouldn't have came out and said, and he screwed himself, if he wouldn't have came out and said, Anthony Joshua, I want to fight you, and I want to give you 40% of the revenue, and I take 60, and let's get it on in December. If he wouldn't have done that, he would have actually saved himself a lot of problems, because then he rose the expectations. And since you rise the expectations with the opposition, you fought Wilder, you fought White, now you're fighting Joshua? Dude, he screwed himself, because then, oh, I got the fight. Then, you know what? You're taking too long. Now I'm fighting Emmanuel Char. Never mind, I'm fighting Derek Chisora. You can't go from Anthony Joshua to Derek Chisora. You can't do that and expect people not to get mad and expect people not to boycott that fight. They boycotted that fight, man. They more than like a lot of people did. A lot of people was talking about it, boycotting the fight. Kurt, can you speak on the thoughts of Gervonta Tank Davis and domestic violence in the USA? I believe if she lied, she should be charged with the full extent of the law. Troy, I agree. Mark Hunter, you guys hit that like button. Everyone that hasn't hit the like button, hit the like button. I agree. And actually, in the rule of law, there is a law where if you call and make a false report, that's considered a felony. I think one of the fines are it's like $1,000, but I think it's a felony because you can't do that. You know, you're calling a false claim on a particular incident that wasn't true. Yeah. You know, just like going to court and you lie on, under oath, that's perjury. This is the same thing. It's just a lesser degree, you know? So I agree with you, Troy, because I think she did that because she wanted attention. And you know, recently, I'll read to you guys what she had to say after that, because I'm looking and I'm reading that she apologized for making the call. You guys don't believe me? Watch this. Quote. Let me find it because I screenshotted it. Let's see. Look, here it is. Check this out. These past days have been hurtful and extremely exhausting for all parties involved. I pride myself on being extremely private. The situation was the last thing I wanted to be made public. The state of our relationship has been in a fragile space, and Gervonta and I were both at fault for the argument. While the emotions were running high, I made an unnecessary call to the law enforcement in an intense moment while I was frantic. Gervonta did not harm me or our daughter. Listen, today we have sought the help necessary to move forward with our lives. I am confident that we will succeed within our co-parenting dynamic with the counseling provided to us. First of all, that should tell you everything you need to know. Leave Gervonta alone. I don't think she wrote that. I think somebody helped her write that shit. Because honestly, I don't think she was that. I don't know anything about her, so let me stop. But since she's made that public, people leave Gervonta Tank Davis alone. Just leave him alone. She's lied. And I the way it was called, I told people, that doesn't sound right to me. I got a real good eye for that. If a call is called and it's made, and it sounds funny, it sounds coerced, it sounds rehearsed, it doesn't sound authentic, I'm not gonna buy it. Because there's too many people calling laws on people just because they can. Let's pull that, I'm gonna pull that whatever card, yeah, that's right, really? You beat me? Okay, I'm gonna call the laws. She said my emotions was high. I know because she sounded like she was emotional, but it sounded like she was pretty much playing games. The interviewer asked if it did more or less than 500,000 buys, and Frank said it did more. Well, he should have said what it was. But 500,000 pay-per-view buys, right? And let me counterpunch that right now. Let's ask this question. How many pay-per-view buys that Anthony Joshua and Alexander Usyk 2 produced? 1.2. Okay? 1.2 million. Okay? Listen. The first installment of Usyk versus Joshua in London last sold 1.2. British fans are now, no, that's okay. Here we go. This is the second one. So the second ones were, okay. All right, here's the numbers. Can confirm that Usyk versus Joshua 2 can boast sales of 1.249 million despite the elevated cost. It's almost certain now that Fury versus Joshua will be sold between $29.95 and $34.95. So Frank told you it did over 500,000. You know why he said that? Because he didn't tell you exactly what it is, because it wasn't 1.2. Okay, it wasn't 1.3. It wasn't anything over 1.2. It might have been 600,000, 700,000. That may be around what it made, because it's Tyson Fury. Okay, wonderful. What he should really be targeting, he's just not going to say anything because he doesn't want to be, again, make Joshua up here and Fury up here despite not losing a professional fight. And it makes it look any either worse, because that you got a guy that's having or making that amount of money and he's taking some losses. So you can't use that, hey, he's more popular because he hasn't had a loss. Well, he's had 2 losses and he's still making more than your boy. So that's something you have to take in consideration when trying to promote a fighter. See, Frank just said, you know what? I'm not saying anything to anybody. I just know it made more than 500,000, but I'm not going to tell you exactly how much it is. Why would I? And what I say to that, good counterpunch, good strategy, because why reveal it if you know it has nowhere near it? Bars. Why are you skipping rope? I'm jumping rope, Bryce. You don't skip rope. Girls skip rope, Bryce. Don't do that. She could have been bought off. Well, if she could, here's the thing. I say the same thing about Gervonta's baby mama the same way I feel about Martin Carefoot. If you can be bought for, you can be bought against. Counterpunch. Bryce, I know. It's all good. Again, if you can be bought before, you can be bought after. For or against. See, so if she was bought to do a certain thing, she could also be bought to undo a certain thing. And it's actually smart as shit, to be honest with you. So let's say she did do that. Let's say, you know what? Fuck you. I'm getting 500,000. I'm getting 300,000 just by saying and putting this story out. They're going to pay me. And they paid her. She said it. So she's paid. So now what she's doing is Gervonta or whoever says, you know what? We're going to pay you more to say it didn't happen. Fine. Cool. You pay me more money and I'll say it didn't happen. So I get paid twice, because remember, it's a bribe. You can't go and say, the people that bribed this broad can't say, hey, double tip. Exactly. Counterpunch. You can't say, hey, I want my money back. What you going to do about it? Say, you paid me to lie? And then he paid me to lie again, or not lie. So you paid me to lie, he paid me not to lie. He paid me double. So, oh yeah, 300,000. I'm gonna give you $1 million. Shut that shit down. What is she gonna do? So she got 300,000 and she got 600,000 or $1 million. She's came up. I ain't mad at her. I mean, it's a shit ball thing to do, but you have to understand that women in those situations, in those circles, they do that type of shit. You know, that's what they get known for. Instagram models and stuff like that, millions of followers. You know, they don't date the average Joe Blow, whatever, trash, garbage man, taxi cab driver. They don't do that. If you see them with anybody, it's going to be someone that's already in the public eye. Okay, so if they want to have kids with somebody, okay, it might as well be a boxer named Gervonta. Okay, they might really love this one guy over here, if they even know what love is, because some of them are shallow as shit, let's be real. And they're going to do that. They're going to marry someone, basketball player, football player, you know, those type of things. Vampires, absolutely. Ex-girlfriends do anything, believe me. Yeah, they do. They will. Okay, it's nothing new, and so that's what she did. It's just Martin Carefoot didn't get paid anyway. They said, I'm going to pay you by 25,000 pounds. How's that sound? Sounds great. And they didn't pay him. Now he comes forward. You know what I mean? But somebody could have paid him to come forth, you know? So, does the Tank stuff affect the Ryan? No, it don't. I mean, if anything, it should affect the fight that he's going into, not the fight that's to come. The fight that's in front of him is Garcia, this other Garcia. I forget his name. I keep forgetting it. But I just know it ain't Ryan, bro. So he has to worry about his Garcia problems. And that's not Ryan. Right? Kurt, my biggest concern with Tank is with the hit and run case. With Tank, Jesus, okay. All right, something just, I was reading something and then, okay, I guess they took it off. The interviewer asked, okay, all right, well, something happened. I don't know what happened. That was weird. I guess it got deleted. That's strange. Well, let's do this. Hold on. Troy Peterson, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate the love. Woman fucked with them, even worse without them. Hard life, Kurt. This believing any damn thing a woman says is bullshit. Well, I think that's for anybody. I mean, I'm not gonna turn it into just a woman thing. Women lie, women and men lie. They both lie. You know what I mean? Like, for example, I can't find my wife. Where is she? She's in the back of your lawn, bro, cemented under the pool. That's where she's at. A search party. I'm scared for my wife. She's my life. Yeah, and he killed her, but money for nothing, chicks for free. Yeah, man, it's tough. It's tough. Didn't Rolly have the same situation? Didn't they pull him out of the fight? Well, they pulled Rolly out of the fight. I don't understand why they did that. I think it was different. Rolly was sexual. Something happened with a chick. He messing around, did something he didn't supposed to, some stripper, you better stay away from Floyd. Oh, Mayweather strippers. You think they ain't looking for a come up too? They get tired of dropping it like it's hot, flying down the pole, right? If they can get in the public eye, get me a bride, saving my guy, bars, right? So I think at the end of the day, stay away from strippers. Because extortion's real. Extortion is real. Yeah, under the pool, dude. Them guys be killing their wives or girlfriends. Old Tink Tink did it. You guys know who Tink Tink is? The guy that had no legs that won the Olympic, what was it, from Sweden? Norway? Hell, he shot his girl. People saying Davis Mrs. recently recanted the story. She took it back, supposedly. Yeah, I just read it to you. Yeah, South Africa. South African cat. I call him Tink Tink because that's what Cat Williams called him. Yeah, Oscar. Yeah, man. Yeah, you guys know the story, And it's crazy, man. It's crazy. So I just don't want to throw that on women. This ain't a woman bashing channel or no shit like that. I love women. What do you want from me? I'm not gonna bash them. Kurt, my biggest concern with Tank is with the hit and run case. Oh, there we go. If Tank is found guilty, it'll be the sport that I love that I hate so much. Uh, nah, he wasn't driving, I don't think. Was it? Was he? I mean, if he was driving, that's a totally different issue. Now, if he was what do they call it? An accomplice or accessory to a hit and run, that's a little different because he could always say, if he wasn't driving, hey, I made them go back to the scene of the crime. Because he did, I do recall him going back to the scene of the crime, right? When he runs, it goes ting, ting, ting. The hit and run case has a lot of charges versus him. That's shitty. Tank is ass backwards. Cat Williams is one funny SOB. I watched him on Mike Tyson's boxing channel last night. It's a must-watch video. Yeah, I'm gonna take a look at it. Sean Lynch got away with a hit and run manslaughter. Yeah. I mean, look, here's the thing. This is what we need to be more appreciative to. Let's just be glad that it wasn't a hit and run or it wasn't a domestic violence and cause of death. Okay? You know, so, you know, these guys, bro, listen, let me tell you guys something. All right. I partially grew up in a city surrounding Shreveport. Shreveport, not big at all. Place you gamble, you know, a lot of casinos, bars are open all night. So you got casinos that stay open forever, and your clubs and bars close at 6 a.m., 7 a.m. And if you want to drink on through the day, you can. Gamblers and drunks. But let me tell you what it's also known for. It's known for one of the most domestic violence deaths, okay, in the U.S. That small-ass town, 200,000 people, maybe. That small-ass town, you would be surprised of what goes down in that small-ass town. Bars. Troy, yeah, Shreveport, Louisiana. These dudes are killing, like murking these chicks, their child's moms, their girlfriends, whoever. They are stalking / killing these chicks. And it happens all the time. I had an app on one of my phones, right, where it had like local news, and the local news showed you the amount of shit that goes down in Shreveport. Even when I don't live there, you know, I go there sometimes, but I don't live there. So yeah, I have a friend there. Yeah, well, make sure your friend is not dating a crazy SOB, because you know it is what it is. But back to boxing, Bryce Production, who wins versus Usyk or versus Bivol? Man, you know what? I think that fight would be one. That fight will probably be like Oscar De La Hoya. No. It would be like Oscar De La Hoya fighting Winky Wright. It would be those type of fights because you got a sharpshooter counterpuncher, even though Winky fights nothing like Usyk, but he's a southpaw and he's very slick. Okay, he's very slick. He's very, very, his boxing ring IQ is off the charts. He beat up Sugar Shane Mosley. He never fought Oscar De La Hoya, but he has an IQ of a fucking Muhammad Ali. You know what I mean? That kind of IQ. I think Usyk's bigger. Bivol's a big boy. I mean, when you get past 75 pounds, you're going into the heavyweight era, you know? But then these guys still have speed, you know, they still have that tenacity, you know, they still have that pinpoint accuracy, you know? And Usyk, I don't know, Usyk taking on Bivol could be very good for Bivol, or could be very bad. Because Bivol don't stop, and Usyk don't stop. So that would be a hell of a fight. Fight of the year. Because see, Bivol, as long as you don't hurt Bivol, Bivol's going to keep on hitting you. And that's the only thing I see him against. And I have a lot of videos to come out. I was doing research last night on Usyk, Bivol, you know, lightweight to cruiser to heavy, right? And I think there's a lot of good fights that could be made. I think I think he's big enough to go up to cruiser and hits hard enough to be respected. Okay? And here's the thing about Better Beef. He's a big bastard for light heavy. He's average for cruiser, but then yet he's small for heavyweight. You know, and I want to see. This is what I want to see: Anthony Yard and Better Beef. I want to see that first before I keep running my mouth, because Yard is a clever, slick. You know, he keeps that defense, because I've seen Yard attacked by bigger men. You've guys seen that clip where the guy went in, pop, 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 and he went at him, and he was ready, and he missed. The attack was launched at him. He was able to defend. Now, if he's able to do that with Better Beef, you know, that would be very impressive. The danger about Better Beef, he has these shorthand punches that he can catch you from here to here, and they're powerful. So he doesn't have to extend it. He doesn't have to have space. He doesn't have to twerk, you know. He doesn't have to have that twitch, you know, that twerking twitch that you need to generate that power. He's already this. Joe Louis style. Kurt, where do you think Tyson Fury stands in the list of heavyweight champions based on his career so far? Let's see. Tyson Fury, as compared to who? And see, when you say that, are you referring to certain fighters at their time, at a particular time frame, chronologically? Because at this point, he's just beat Wilder. Dillian White was never a true solid champion. Derek Chisora, again, never a champion. He's beat two champions. He's beat Vladimir and he's beat Deontay. So, you know, he's undefeated. He has to beat Joshua. First of all, he has to beat Usyk, because Usyk beat Joshua. But he has to beat these guys because, see, in Tyson Fury's career, there's too many what-ifs that didn't happen. Does that make sense to people? Okay, David Haye, what happened? Fight didn't happen. Not saying, I'm not throwing any fault at anybody, okay? It's his fault. It's no, I'm just stating the facts. He didn't fight David Haye. He didn't fight David Price. He didn't fight Tony Bellew. These are all fights that he didn't fight Vitali. These are fights that he did not fight. Okay, so we don't know what could have been the outcome. And I'm not going to be the one that said he would have got beat. No, I don't know that. See, we just don't know. So it's not a pass or a fail kind of situation with Tyson Fury to me. It's more of a incomplete. If he would have had a paper, you couldn't grade him, you couldn't fail him, because he hasn't took those particular tests or answered those questions for those questions to be right or those questions to be wrong. You just got to put an I right there. because you really don't know what would have been the outcome because it's incomplete. So if anything I could say about Tyson Fury would be incomplete, especially when a person is claiming to be the best ever, the best that laced on some gloves, the best heavyweight from since John L. Sullivan and back in those days, and I'm the man that beats the man, and I can beat everybody in any era, and I'll stop. I don't like hearing that shit because it's like, okay, we'll never know if you can beat Mike Tyson in his prime. We don't have a time machine. You know, Doc Brown, he stopped creating time machines back in 1989. Right? So we don't know that. And he hasn't fought Joshua. He hasn't fought Usyk. He hasn't fought Joyce. You know, now we can assume that he can beat those guys. We can assume that he'll beat Joyce based on, you know, the style matchups. That's only a prediction. Until they get in the ring, we won't know. Let's just be real. We won't know. We won't know anything until he gets in the ring. So I feel that Tyson Fury's career, it's been up, it's been down, and here's the astonishing thing about Tyson, okay? The astonishing thing about Tyson the Gypsy King is Tyson the Gypsy King Fury has had a lot of losses, but without a lot of losses, or without a single loss. The losses that he's taken has been out of the ring. You know, the cocaine, the alcohol abuse, the belts being stripped, the attempted suicides, the thoughts of suicide, the absence out of the ring, the fact that he hasn't fought those guys that I just mentioned. You know, so yeah, that's somewhat of a loss. Okay, he just hasn't technically lost an official fight. It's not on his record. Floyd was similar. Floyd Mayweather retired to get away from the Oscar De La Hoya rematch. He did that shit. And then after De La Hoya got beat to shit by Manny Pacquiao, he comes back. You guys remember that? You know, a lot of people, oh man, he ain't been beat. He was just clever. And Floyd ain't took a drug in his life, not an illegal one. You know, not booze or coke or weed or shit like that. So, you know, it is what it is with that. Tyson Fury is somewhat of a big ass Floyd Mayweather. He says this, he says that. And his Floyd ain't bald no more. But neither am I, right? So, you know, I mean, but yeah, my mindset, yeah, it's still what it is. Kirk AI, hermano. Jay Rodriguez, what's up? Counterpunch to you. But Johnny Wilson, I hope that answered your question. Ryan Watterson, did Povetkin ever get called small? He had one hit knockout power, two at the same size as Usyk. Let me do a little research real quick because I don't want to say nothing wrong. What was Alexander Povetkin's weight? See, yeah, you're right. Alexander Povetkin, he was 228. I don't think, I mean, he's 6'2". I don't think that he was considered small. But you have to remember, Alexander Povetkin been fighting a long time, bro. He ain't just this new kid on the block. That ain't a Joe Joyce. You know what I mean? He's been fighting a while. Alexander Povetkin, bro, he was knocking people out. You know, I told people when he fought Dillian White, I told him, I said, I want to see what happens when White takes an uppercut. Because we just seen the year before. See, from 2019 to 2020, you might as well stick 5 years in between those 2 years, right? And they're only a year apart, but the things that happen, you know, the deaths, the COVID, all that stuff, you know, people forgot that, hey, Dillian White, you know, yeah, he's been waiting around for his opportunity for the longest and this, that, and the other. But at the same time, we forget that he fought a guy 12 rounds. Yeah, he beat that guy, but that same guy that was also smaller. Oscar Rivas was like 6'1", right? Or 6 foot. took him down with a left uppercut, and he stunned him. And I'm just like, yo, and it just shows me that Oscar Rivas, poor bastard, he's going to be one of those guys that because he has a lack of, he can never come forward. If he had Mike Tyson and fought like Mike, he would be killing these fucking guys because he has the chin, he has the power, he has the toughness, he has the resilience, he has the durability, right? He just doesn't have the technique because I don't think he's trained right. And since he's not trained right, he's not going to be or ever be in a situation or perform the way he needs to perform to get the punches that he needs to land being a smaller heavyweight. Okay? That's that. But he went in there with Povetkin and got caught with a left uppercut. Boom! Knocked him out cold. And I was so ecstatic because I was like, I'm wondering what's going to happen. I told you guys, I said, I got a bad feeling about this. When that live stream, you can go back and watch it. When that live stream came on, I said, you know what? I got a bad feeling about this fight. Something's going to happen in this fight. I don't know what it is, but something's going to happen. Okay? Tank 100% needs to have much better judgment and sound like he needs to find a church wife, not a stripper wife. Leave her like that song Nappy Roots have, Hey Love. Well, Troy Peterson, here's the thing about this. He's gonna have to be equally yoked. He's gonna have to want to find a church girl. He's gonna have to want to go to fucking church first. Okay, he's gonna have to see the relevance in that. He's going to have to be reformed like Angel Manfredi. You guys remember who that is? Boxer, tats all over his body and shit. You know, they used to call him Angel El Diablo Manfredi. You know, I think he was on that dark side of shit for a while, hanging out with Woody Harrelson. That was his best friend, by the way. They looked alike, bald, white, and wild. Right? So, yeah, he's gonna have to want one. If he doesn't want one, he might look at them chicks as boring. And then meanwhile, when he's running after these chicks, waterfalls, getting into all types of shit, you know, it won't be until something really bad happens to him to make him really look at life the way he needs to. But as long as he's in the circle of the people that he's surrounded by, he may not ever get it. It may just have to be God sending him that message. But a lot of times you don't want that message because that message conveys you getting into some shit. You know? So there you go. Yar hasn't even fought a B-level fighter to even be ready for that monster. Michael Buffer, we just got to see. Who wins, Bivol or Ruiz? Really? I would give my money on fucking Bivol, actually. If Bivol could make heavyweight and still have some of the speed, he can outbox Andy. He'll be punching him all night long. He'll be a fucking punching bag that sometimes punches back. But if Andy ever catches him with one of them fucking left hook rabbit punches that he's known for, he's gonna take Bivol's ass out. You better ask Luis Ortiz about that. Shucks. Tank is starting to be like Mike Tyson back in the day. Hopefully he can stay out of trouble, and he's a great fighter, both him and Ryan, in my opinion, regardless of who wins that, or both will be great. Ricky Torre, let me shed some light on it for you guys, okay? Ryan, I don't know what he's doing, but Ryan himself has changed over the years. That motherfucker went from an Oscar De La Hoya replica to a tatted up fool. I'm like, I mean, I understand he's only like 23, 24, you know, but I don't know. I just think I got a brother like that. I mean, you got a guy that, you know, waits till you're 35, then start having tattoos. I mean, it's stupid as shit ever. Like, you didn't think to do something that dumb back then. You know what I mean? You wait to get to a point to get to that. I just don't get it. Because it seems like certain, and most people that get that many tattoos regret fucking getting them. Ask 50 Cent, bro. He regrets getting like, yo, I shouldn't have never got all these fucking things. You know, So, and then, I really can't speak too much on it because I don't have them. I'm just talking about the ones that do. Kurt, 6 foot, good for me. Don't be hating on us short dudes. Not hating on you at all. Reva's been plagued by an eye injury most of his career. Yeah, poor bastard. I think of David Reed. Joseph E. Honestly, Kurt, I don't like Usyk or Fury to be undisputed. I don't think they will be a long reigning champion. I can see them vacating the belts and retiring just after becoming undisputed. Joseph E., you got a point there because Alexander Usyk has said that he only wants certain fights. He'll fight Wilder if Fury's not there. If he fights Fury, he might not ever have to fight Wilder because Wilder has nothing to offer him. So I don't think that he would probably do it. He may fight one more time, and I think that one more time might be against Tyson Fury if he can beat Tyson Fury the first time. Counterpunch. So, yeah, Joseph E., you got a point there because he may be in that situation where, hey, I'm 36 years old or 35. I'll be 36 January 17th, the same day my father, Muhammad Ali, was created, right? So he may not want to do that. He may not want to fight Dubois or Joyce's big ass again because he already battled him in the WSB or WBS or WSB. Yeah, right? So there. But then Tyson, now if Tyson wins, we expect Tyson to keep going. But then again, he's so unpredictable, you don't know what he's going to do. Tyson Fury might say, you know what, that's it, you dulces. I'm going to retire from the sport. I'm for real this time. I'm going to retire again. Yes, thanks, Kurt. Love and Death Breakdowns. Great channel. Johnny Wilson, man, appreciate it. Troy, yeah, then he needs professional counseling to work on himself. Yeah. I wish I could tell Tank, avoid these IG models. They're good for nothing. Yeah, but, tell that to the tits and the ass, sir. And the, what is it? Persuasion and temptation. The sex is great. That's what is getting Tank in the trouble. There you go. The temptation and the persuasion. Smells like OTR. Andy would destroy him. Andy would corner him. I'm going to whoop you, Bivol. I'm going to beat you. You're using Kung Fu on me. It's happened to me. It happened to us all, my brother. Bryce Productions, are you going to do a live stream watching KSI versus Dillian Dennis on January 14th? That's if I can. Because January 14th, I will be working on a show. So I may or may not be, I may work that day. So we'll see. I'm going to get a tattoo at 81 if I make it that far. Yeah. I've got a tattoo. Man, you seen Great Uncle Ed? No. Well, I don't know his name, but, Uncle Ed got a tattoo he's trying to show you. He just died, though. You can see it in his casket. He was on his arm and said, Mom. To this day, bronze bomber. So what Joseph E is, if Tyson wins his best of his era, that's all we need to know who is the best of the generation. Well, best of the generation shows that you can beat everyone in that era. That's what defines who's the best of the generation is. You can't say I'll beat one guy and two guys and then I'm going to leave. You got to whoop every ass in the era to be the best of your generation. That's what happens. Till this day, AJ beats 3 times. He not even in it. I just saw it was alive. That was your favorite 3 fights of the year. Fight Sport Talk. What's up? Fight Sport Talk. Yeah, do one last set. There we go. Okay. The lights throwing me off? What the hell? I guess so. Yeah, it's the light. Now, if I turn this light off and it stops, after y'all better be if they need to get onto making the Bivol fight. Yeah, and I seen an interview with Bivol last night that Bivol doesn't intend on fighting Canelo. Well, he says it's not as exciting as he wants it to be. We need the Shaw versus Efe live, not absolutely. That's a fight I definitely want to see. Dude, that's gonna be a good fight. See, if Efe can knock out Shaw, or Shaw can knock out Efe, Efe would be gone. Okay, it would take him a while to get back on down the way, because that's his second loss. But if he can beat Shaw, he could show and prove that he's back. You know, how do you get back? You beat an undefeated guy. You know? So, yeah. Efe versus Shaw, definitely I'm going to try. You know? But I think that Tank, he should get another woman. Frank Warren, he should be proud of his comeback. And think about Frank for a minute. Frank was not, if you look at promoters, he's like a Keanu Reeves, right? He's made a comeback. Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. Right? So I think that's something we need to pay attention to. And Bob Arum is too legit to quit. Al Heyman is ghost. Anthony Joshua, we'll see who he decides to go with. James Aboud, Happy New Year's, Kurt. Love and respect to you and your channel. Predictions: Tank versus Garcia, Crawford versus Spence, Fury versus Usyk, Haney versus Lomachenko if they happen in 6 months. Monday is the deadline. All right, let's see. Tank versus Garcia. Going to be a very good fight. I think it's going to be a lot better than people think it's going to be. I hope Tank is not distracted by any of this shit, because I just don't want to see it. Tank's dynamic. Tank's, I think, has a better chin, and I think Tank will hurt Garcia before Garcia hurts him. But I could be wrong. But if Tank can hurt him, he has to keep in mind, if he drops Garcia's going to get back up, people. And he's going to show his stuff. I think, like he did with Luke Campbell. Cool Hand Luke. Right? So, Usyk versus Tyson. There's many ways. I'm going to do another prediction on that. Coming soon, probably on the 1st of January. Crawford versus Spence. Well, if it happens next year, you got to go with Spence. If it happens, when I say that next year, I mean 2024. Who else? Who else is it? Fantasy fight. Joe Frazier versus Usyk. Joseph E. I see that going just like, good fight. Why? Derek Chisora is like a poor man Joe Frazier to me. Joe Frazier is Joe Frazier. Smoking Joe. Hook 'em, Joe. Hook 'em. Hook 'em, Joe. Hook 'em. Right? Good fight. I think, though, honestly, Frazier may be a bit too much for Usyk. Why? Because Frazier understands what to put money in the bank means. Take the air out of the tire. Go to the body. Right? Go to the body. And Usyk don't like the body. I'm doing an extensive video on Usyk. And I think Frazier, he ain't gonna try to deal with all that moving. He's not gonna deal with that. But he showed you he was able to deal with one of the best movers, born on the same day, January 17th, Cassius Clay, bars, Muhammad Ali, huh? He's already showed you that he can hang and he can stay with that. He showed you that. He showed you that he can hang. Right? So I say Frazier. In his prime, I say Frazier. Because Frazier's going to go to the body. And especially if he knows, hey, I hurt him, I'm going to keep doing it. Let me add insult to injury. Let me add it. You know? Let's go. Kurt, do you agree Tyson Fury's antics are to put opponents off the game? And are Tyson Fury's antics hilarious? The way he trash talks? Absolutely. I love the way Tyson Fury talks trash. That gives him, first of all, it makes it more exciting. It builds the expectations of Tyson Fury. If the people that hate Tyson, it makes them hate him more. They are funny. The Batman was probably the funniest to me. All of them are funny, but the Batman and the Joker and he tackling the Joker, that was probably one of the funniest. So I think, does he get it? I don't think he does it necessarily to get up under their skin, because I think he genuinely likes to do it. I think he likes the idea of selling fights, showboating, expressing himself. He likes that whole thing. I think he likes it. I don't think he does it for other people's amusement. I think he does it because he likes it. Spence is signing a contract for Ennis or Thurman, it was reported today. Good for him. It's not going to be fucking Ennis. It's going to be fucking Thurman. There you go. So none of that Ennis or Thurman, that's such bullshit. Al Heyman knows he's not going to fight him, so they throw that name in there to make him a possibility so he can be name associated. Oh, see, he was willing to fight Ennis. Dude, it's going to be Thurman. So let's stop. Let's just stop that. Errol's not going to fight Ennis. And if he fights Ennis, I hope I'm wrong. I'll be glad to be wrong. This ain't one of them channels. Yeah, I was wrong. So what? Fuck you. Delete. You know? Kurt, name the elite boxer that Fury fought apart from Klitschko. None. Batman, the best detective in the world. Absolutely. To this day, Bronze Bomber. Ed, go back under the rock. You're delusional. Uh-oh. You got Bronze Bomber to this day pissed. Y'all better stop that. You better stop that, right? But guys, I appreciate you hanging out with me. I'm gonna go shower. I think I've earned it. I'm gonna try to go live tomorrow, but if not, you will see back-to-back content. I'm always working, even though you don't see it. You're gonna see the result of it. Everybody, God bless. Be careful out there on this New Year's. I hope to see everybody on and in the next year. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace. All right.